All right, we're diving deep into something incredibly profound today. 5 signs you were born with ancient spiritual powers. Think about that for a second. Imagine waking up one day and realizing that the abilities you've had your entire life, the feelings you couldn't explain, the strange connections you've always felt, were the signs that you possess something ancient, something powerful, something beyond what most people can even comprehend. Now I know what you're thinking. Is this really possible? Can I actually have these powers, and why me? But that's the thing. Why you? That's the question that keeps pulling us back. The truth is, not everyone is born with ancient spiritual powers. This is something reserved for a select few, those who are connected to something bigger than themselves, something timeless, something that's been passed down through generations, perhaps even lifetimes. You might not even realize you have them until now. Let's get into the first sign. Have you ever felt like you don't belong? Like you're somehow different from everyone around you? This isn't just some random feeling of being an outsider. No, this is deeper. It's as if your soul is calling you from somewhere else, somewhere far beyond this present moment. People with ancient spiritual powers often feel disconnected from the mundane world because their spirit is tied to higher realms, to energies and frequencies that most people aren't even aware of. You feel like you belong somewhere else, not in the sense that you don't want to be here, but in the sense that your spirit is so vast, so expansive, that the physical world just feels too small. It's like trying to fit a galaxy into a jar. It doesn't work. That's the first sign you've always felt different, because you are different.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
Now, let me ask you something. When you're alone, do you feel a strange sense of comfort? Not loneliness, but peace. This is the second sign. You see, people with ancient spiritual powers are often at home in solitude because it's in the silence that they reconnect with the source. When you're alone, you're not really alone because you can feel the energy of the universe around you, guiding you, nurturing you, and reminding you of your true nature. Most people fear being alone. They fill their lives with distractions, with noise, with chaos, anything to avoid sitting quietly with themselves. But not you. For you, solitude is a form of recharging. It's in those silent moments that you can feel the whispers of ancient knowledge flowing through you. You don't just appreciate being alone, you need it. You need it because your spirit is constantly in communication with something greater, something unseen. You don't always know what it is, but you can feel it. And that's the second sign you find power in solitude. The third sign is something that many people with ancient spiritual powers experience but don't always talk about. You have heightened intuition. You just know things. Call it a gut feeling. Call it a sixth sense. But whatever it is, it's real. You've always noticed that you can sense things before they happen. You can tell when someone is lying, even if they don't show any obvious signs. You can feel the energy in a room shift before anyone else picks up on it. Sometimes it's subtle, like knowing who's about to call you before the phone even rings. Other times it's more intense, like feeling an overwhelming sense of dread or joy without any clear reason. But you've learned to trust it because more often than not, it's right. This isn't just intuition in the everyday sense. This is something deeper, something ancient. It's as if the wisdom of your ancestors lives inside of you, guiding you, helping you navigate the world from a place of unseen knowledge. You've been given these powers for a reason, and your intuition is a tool you were born with to help you on your path. But let's take it even deeper. The fourth sign is something that's harder to explain, but when you hear it, you'll know exactly what I mean. You feel a connection to nature that goes beyond just enjoying the outdoors. When you're in nature, it's like the trees, the wind, the water, they're speaking to you. You can feel the energy of the earth beneath your feet. You've probably noticed that when you're in nature, your mind clears, your body relaxes, and you feel more like yourself. This is because people with ancient spiritual powers are deeply connected to the natural world. Your energy syncs with the energy of the earth, and in those moments you're not just walking through the forest or sitting by the ocean, you're communicating with it. You're receiving messages from the natural world, messages that most people are too disconnected to hear. The earth has been here for billions of years, and it holds ancient wisdom that can only be accessed by those who are tuned in. You don't just appreciate nature, you feel it, and in feeling it, you're reminded of where you come from. That's the fourth sign. Your connection to the natural world is a reflection of your ancient powers. Finally, we come to the fifth sign, and this one is perhaps the most profound of them all. You've always had a deep sense of purpose, even if you couldn't always put it into words. There's an inner knowing that you're here for something bigger, something beyond the ordinary. While everyone around you is content with the material world, you've always felt pulled towards something more. You've always known, deep down, that your life has a purpose that goes far beyond what society tells you it should be. It's not about success or fame or money for you. It's about something much deeper. It's about fulfilling a mission, a calling, something ancient that's been passed down to you from lifetimes before. You might not know exactly what that purpose is yet, but you feel it. You feel it in your bones. You feel it every time you close your eyes and listen to the silence. You know that you're here to do something that matters, something that will ripple through the fabric of time itself. That's the fifth sign. Your sense of purpose isn't just a feeling. It's a calling from your ancient spiritual lineage. Now, think about these signs. Have you experienced any of them? Maybe all of them. If you have, then you're not just an ordinary person living an ordinary life. You were born with ancient spiritual powers, and whether you've realized it yet or not, you are connected to a lineage, a source of energy and wisdom that most people will never understand. But here's the thing. Having these powers isn't enough. You have to nurture them. You have to use them. You were given these gifts for a reason, and it's up to you to make sure you fulfill the purpose you were born with. So now that we've talked about the signs, let's dive into what it actually means to have these ancient spiritual powers and how they shape the path you're walking. Because having these abilities isn't just about noticing them, it's about using them. It's about understanding that your life will never be like everyone else's. You were never meant to follow the conventional path, and deep down, you've always known that. When you have ancient spiritual powers, you're constantly working with energies that are far beyond the everyday experiences of most people. This means that you're not just reacting to the world around you, you're co-creating it. You're tuning into forces that most people don't even recognize. And because of that, you're able to influence the world in ways that are subtle but incredibly powerful. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how your mood can shift the energy of an entire room? Or how your intuition can guide you to exactly the right place at exactly the right time? This isn't coincidence. This is your ancient power in action. But here's the challenge. With great power comes great responsibility. You've been given these gifts, but they come with a duty to use them for a higher purpose. That's the thing about ancient spiritual powers. They're not meant to be used for personal gain or manipulation. They're sacred, and they must be treated as such. You have the ability to heal, to guide, to uplift others, but only if you're willing to step into your true role. And that role, it's not always easy. It requires discipline, humility, and a deep connection to the source of your power. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like the universe was communicating with you, guiding you, nudging you towards something? That's not your imagination. That's your ancient power at work. You see, the universe speaks to those who are ready to listen, and as someone with ancient spiritual powers, you've been receiving messages your entire life. The question is, are you listening? Or are you letting the noise of the world drown out the wisdom that's being offered to you? When you start to truly tune in, when you start to embrace your ancient powers, something incredible happens. You begin to live in alignment with your higher self. You start to notice synchronicities, those moments when things just fall into place, when you meet the right person at the right time, or when opportunities seem to appear out of nowhere. This isn't luck. This is the universe aligning with your energy, responding to the frequency you're putting out. When you're in tune with your ancient powers, the universe responds. It's like you become a magnet for the things you're meant to experience. But here's the thing. Living with ancient spiritual powers isn't about having an easy life. In fact, it's often the opposite. You'll face challenges, obstacles, and moments of doubt. But these challenges are part of your path. They're not there to stop you, they're there to teach you. Every challenge you face is an opportunity for growth, for strengthening your connection to your spiritual source. It's in these moments of difficulty that your powers truly reveal themselves. When you overcome, when you rise above the challenges, you step further into the fullness of who you are meant to be. And that's the point. You weren't just born with these powers to sit on the sidelines. You were born with them to step into your greatness, to fulfill a mission that's bigger than you. You were born to use these powers to make a difference in the world. But here's the hard truth. Not everyone will understand you. Not everyone will see what you see. Some people might even fear your power. But that's okay, because you're not here to fit in, you're here to stand out, to be a beacon of light in a world that so often feels dark. You're here to remind people of the ancient wisdom that flows through all of us, even if they've forgotten it. Let's take it even further now. What does it mean to live in alignment with these ancient spiritual powers? Because it's one thing to know that you have them, but it's another to live in a way that honors them. And this is where the real challenge begins. Living with ancient spiritual powers isn't just about having moments of insight or feeling connected to something greater. It's about aligning every part of your life with that deeper wisdom. I think about it. Are you living in alignment with the truth you feel inside? Are you making choices that reflect the power you've been given? Or are you still playing small, living in fear of what might happen if you truly stepped into your power? These are the questions that chosen ones must ask themselves. Because having ancient spiritual powers is a gift, but it's also a responsibility. It's a responsibility to live with integrity, to make choices that honor the source of your power, and to stay true to your path even when it's hard. Alignment means that your thoughts, your actions, and your energy are all moving in the same direction. It means that you're no longer living in conflict with yourself. You're no longer trying to be someone you're not. You're fully embracing the truth of who you are, and you're allowing that truth to guide everything you do. This is where your ancient spiritual powers truly come alive. When you're in alignment, there's nothing that can stop you, because you're moving with the flow of the universe, not against it. But here's the thing. Alignment isn't something you achieve once and then forget about. It's something you have to work at every single day. It's about staying connected to your source, staying grounded in your truth, and making choices that reflect the wisdom you've been given. And this isn't always easy. There will be times when you're tempted to stray from your path, when the noise of the world becomes too loud, when the opinions of others start to cloud your judgment. But these are the moments that define you. These are the moments when your ancient spiritual powers will guide you back to your center. So let me ask you this. Are you ready to live in alignment with your ancient powers? Are you ready to step into the fullness of who you are, to embrace the gifts you've been given, and to live a life that reflects the wisdom of the ages. Because here's the truth: the world needs you. The world needs your light, your wisdom, and your power. You were born with these ancient spiritual powers for a reason, and now it's time to use them. You are not alone in this journey. The universe is with you, guiding you, supporting you, and reminding you of the power that lies within. All you have to do is listen, trust, and take the next step. Let's bring this all together now. We've explored the signs, we've talked about your ancient spiritual powers, but what does it all mean for how you live your life moving forward? This final part is about embracing your destiny, because make no mistake, if you've resonated with these signs, you're not just here to exist. You're here to walk a path that very few can tread. You're here to live in alignment with the energies of the universe in a way that transforms not only your life, but the lives of those around you. Living with ancient spiritual powers means you are a bridge between worlds. You carry the wisdom of the past while navigating the challenges of the present. You've been given these powers not as a burden, but as a gift and opportunity to elevate the energy of the world around you. But let's be clear, this path requires courage. It requires commitment. It requires you to trust in the unseen forces that have been guiding you long before you even realized they were there. So what does this look like in practice? It means living intentionally. It means listening to your intuition and allowing it to guide your decisions, even when they don't make logical sense. It means being mindful of your energy and protecting your spiritual boundaries. You're not here to be like everyone else, and that's your strength. The world will try to pull you back into its chaos, to distract you from your power, but you must remain anchored. Let me ask you this: what would your life look like if you fully stepped into your ancient power? If you stopped doubting yourself, if you trusted your instincts, if you embraced your connection to the universe without hesitation? This is the life that's waiting for you. And it's not a life of ease, it's a life of deep meaning, profound impact, and spiritual fulfillment. The time has come. You've been given these ancient spiritual powers for a reason, and the world needs them now more than ever. You are here to guide, to heal, to uplift. You are here to remind others of what they've forgotten. But first, you must fully awaken to what you already know deep inside. You are powerful beyond measure. Are you ready to embrace the full spectrum of your ancient spiritual gifts? Because the world is waiting for you to rise.